Hey, Jameer, this is Mr. H. By the way, happy birthday, happy belated birthday. Hope you had a chance to do something fun. All right, so I'm going to do this question that you sent to me. I'm going to do it two ways. I'm going to do it algebraically using boxes and circles, and then I'm going to show you how to use the calculator to also answer. You should basically know how to do it both ways. Honestly, if I was pressed, I would say you definitely should know how to do this using the calculator. But I'm going to do it algebraically, and then I'm going to create a second video that does it using the calculator. So let's go. All right, now, so here's what I'm doing. I am going to first thing I'm going to do is I am going to draw a vertical line here. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of the parentheses by multiplying, and then I'm going to put everything into boxes and circles. Now, the one thing I wanted to say is, whenever you see this word exact, that means that the question is telling you it doesn't want an answer that has decimals in it. It has to be a fraction. It can't be decimals. It has to have a fraction. All right. So this question is already telling me that my answer is got to be written as a fraction. So that's just a hint. That's something that you have to pay attention to. And this is true no matter what question you see. When it says exact value, that means write it as a fraction. All right, so now let's go through it. First thing, we're going to get rid of the parentheses. So we're going to multiply. We're going to do a negative 2/3 times x. And then, so that's going to be a negative 2/3 x. And then we're going to do a negative 2/3 times 5. Now, a lot of students struggle when they're multiplying fractions. So I'm going to use the calculator now. So if I go here, I'm going to do a negative 2/3. So I'm going to do a negative, control divide 2/3. And I'm going to multiply that times 5, times a positive 5. So I press enter, and I get a negative 10/3. So if I go here, that means that this is going to be a negative 10/3. Now, all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to rewrite the equation and bring down those other numbers. So the first step that I've done, Jameer, is just get rid of the parentheses by multiplying by the negative 2/3. Now I'm going to do boxes and circles. Anything that has an X next to it goes into a box, and I call it the X box. And anything, so that negative 2/3 goes into a box, and that 4x goes into the box. Now, anything that doesn't have an X, it goes into a circle. So this 6 goes into let me try that again. This 6 goes into a circle, and this negative 10/3 goes into a circle. Now, here's the part that should make sense. Boxes want to be with boxes, circles want to be with circles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this box and I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it over here where this other box is. And then I'm going to write it. Now, the rule is anytime you move something across this line, you got to change the sign. So instead of it being a negative 2/3 x, it's going to switch to a positive 2/3 x. So now on the right-hand side, if I combine these two boxes, it's going to be 4 and 2/3 x. That's what I have. And I'm going to put this in a box. All right. So now I've combined all the boxes together and I have it on one side. Now what I need to do is I need to do that with the circles. So I have 6 and I have a negative 10/3. So either I could go 6 plus a negative 10/3, or I could just go 6 minus 10/3. So I'm going to take these two circles and I'm going to combine them. So look what I do. Use the calculator. It's going to be 6 plus a negative 10/3. control divide, 10 over 3. Boom, got it. So on the left-hand side of my equation, I'm gonna have 8 over 3. So I write 8 over 3 and I put it in a circle. Got it? Now, this is the last step, and this is always gonna be the last step. Whatever number is in the box, that's what I'm gonna divide by. I'm gonna divide both sides by 4 and 2/3. 4 and 2/3. Now, the reason that I'm doing that is 4 and 2/3 divided by 4 and 2/3 is just gonna be 1. So on the right-hand side, I'm gonna have 1x. That's what I want. When I'm done with this algebra, I should have 1x is equal to some number. Now, so on the left-hand side, I have to do the same thing. I'm gonna do 8/3 divided by 4 and 2/3. So watch what I do. I am going to do 8/3, so I'm gonna do control divide, and then I'm gonna do control divide again. So up here, this is gonna be 8 over 3. Boom. And then down here, I'm gonna put in 4 and 2/3. So I'm gonna put, now, I don't have the Inspire doesn't have mixed fractions. So I'm gonna write 4 and 2/3 as 4 plus 2/3. Okay, so the way you should see this is 8/3 divided by 4 and 2/3. Now, when I press enter, I get 4 over 7. So if I go back to my iPad, the answer for this part is gonna be 4/7. So that's my answer. Now, whenever you do algebra and whenever you're solving equations, you should always check your work to make sure it's right. And I'm gonna use the calculator to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to store 4/7 into X, and then I'm going to key this equation back in. And if this 4/7 is the right answer, I should get a true statement. If it's not right, I'll get a false statement, and that means that I've made a mistake with my algebra. So let's just do that. So I'm gonna take 4/7. I'm gonna take 4/7. 4 over 7, and I'm gonna store it into X. Boom, done. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna key in this equation, 6 minus 2/3, parentheses, x plus 5 equals 4x. And if it's right, I should get a true statement. So let's just do that. 6 minus control divide 2, oh crap, let's try it again. 6 minus control divide 2 over 3, parentheses, x plus 5, x plus 5 equals 1x. And then I press enter, and it says false. Why does it say, oh, that's why, because it should be 4x, sorry. All right, so let me fix that. That's just a test. It should be 4x. And that's true. So 4/7 is the answer. I didn't type in the right equation. This shouldn't be 1x, that should have been 4x. But you see, I checked it. I put 4/7 into x, and then I used this equation, and I got a true statement. So Jameer, that means that 4 over 7 is the answer. We checked it. So we're done. We're done. We can put a check there. That's the answer. You would get 2 points for that. Now, I'm gonna end this and I'm gonna post it, and then I'm gonna show you how to do it using the calculator. So boom.